Now, getting started, as I understand it, you opted out of competing as an amateur, jumping straight to the pros in 2009. It obviously worked out for you, as we've seen, but what was the deciding factor ultimately in that? And is that something you would stress to young up-and-coming fighters?
I think it depends on your background. I think the reason I didn't, I have competed in a couple hundred wrestling matches. Probably more than that, actually. Actually official ones. A couple hundred wrestling matches easily. So for me, I was no stranger to competition or hand-to-hand combat, that kind of stuff. I know how to win. I've definitely felt the pain of losing and know how to hopefully not make dumb mistakes like I have in the past. And there's just a different, you're competing in, a football player doesn't know what it's like for hand-to-hand combat. Baseball players or, even, gymnastics, whatever sport it is, there's very few sports out there like wrestling that would really prepare you for the hand-to-hand combat. I guess the traditional martial arts, if you're karate, even, karate or just grappling, jiu-jitsu, that kind of stuff, I think, that kind of gives you a leg up as well. But me, I wrestled in college. I had so many wrestling matches. I knew I could hop right into the pro circuit and, definitely, make sure I, didn't jump into a crazy, fight, my first fight. And then, kind of make sure I built my kind of my confidence in the cage up. And I knew if I started off slow and, I'd be right here where I was today.
Now, fast forward a bit. You've been a staple of the Bellator lightweight division for some time now, but your recent title win over Eddie Alvarez, paired with the fact that, that was arguably fight of the year in 2011, that really put you on the map seemingly overnight. How has life changed thus far, as well as your overall approach to the sport, now that you're a defending champion?
It hasn't really changed much, I've done a couple extra interviews, some of the highly regarded websites and that kind of stuff have me ranked in the top 10, which is cool, but none of that really changes the fact that I got a ton of work to do and I have a ton more potential, that I can reach if I continue to work hard and continue to make the right decisions and continue to surround myself with the right coaches and the right training partners and the right situations. So, more than anything, that's the pride comes before the fall. As soon as you think you're tougher than you actually are, or you've accomplished something, and you can take a little time off, or you can slack a little bit. That's when you see guys digress and bad things happen. So for me, I just try and stay as humble as possible and realize I have a ton of work to do. Even more so now that we're the champ in Bellator and possibly ranked pretty high up there in a lot of people's eyes. Now it's time to continue to prove to people that I wasn't just a fluke for 2011, and 2012 is going to be even bigger for me, and I'm going to continue to get better and exceed people's expectations and put on a good fight. So that's really all I can really control.
With that said, you remain undefeated, including 6 straight wins under the Bellator banner. Like you mentioned, you're widely considered a top 10 lightweight now. Do you feel like you're finally earning the respect and the recognition that you maybe deserve?
Yeah, I don't think I ever was disrespected or didn't get enough respect. I know, my coaches would say I was going to, be really good, and my coaches would say I would beat Eddie, and my training partners would, and, of course I would because I believe in myself, but, I hadn't proved it. I definitely had not proved it, so I didn't think I deserved, the respect, because I'm a firm believer that, you got to earn it. So I think I definitely kind of did that this year, but at the same time, I still have a ton of work to do still. But yeah, I definitely think I'm, hopefully starting to be recognized a little bit more as somebody who's, a force to be reckoned with in the lightweight division, and just excited to be in there in the talks in the lightweight division, and I just want to continue to go out there and just exceed people's expectations. That's the goal for this year. I did it last year. I'm going to do it again this year and take my game to a whole new level and add more. Just get better all around in every aspect of fighting. And be better on the ground, be better on my feet, be better with my knees and my kicks and Muay Thai and kickboxing and just everything. And just be able to push the pace and I just want to continue to earn that respect and not just people talk about me and my Eddie fight, and that's cool, but I want them to just continue to just be wowed every single time I step in the cage.
Now, speaking of 2012, You're actually set to face Akihiro Gono at Bellator 67 that takes place on May 4th. Your title won't be on the line on this one, but were you a bit surprised, in the choice of opponent, being as though Gono seemingly jumped ship to Bellator kind of out of nowhere?
No, I didn't. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, obviously, Bellator's trying to put on the best fights that they possibly can, especially for their champions and that kind of stuff. So, for me, I'm just pumped to get back in the cage, whether it be Gono or whoever. I want to get back in the cage. I want to fight. I fought six times in 13 months last year, basically. So I was definitely busy. It was nice to take time off, and now I'm back training, and I feel like I've gotten even better since the Eddie fight. So I'm just excited to get back in there, and whoever Bellator puts in front of me, and whoever my management tells me we need to fight, that's who we're going to fight, and that's just all I can do is just be pumped to get back in the cage and put on a great show for the fans.
Now, another Japanese star set to make his Bellator debut in 2012, Shinya Aoki, widely considered top 5, top 10 lightweight. Were you a bit surprised that Bellator brought Shinya Aoki in to face Eddie Alvarez as opposed to a match with you?
Yeah. I think people were, they're talking about that, and it's cool. It's cool to hear people say, are being kind of ticked off that I didn't get the Aoki fight and that kind of stuff. But you got to remember that him and Eddie have a past. It'll be a rematch, a fight. The first fight ended with Aoki, submit them in like a minute. So he basically caught Eddie pretty quick. And then that's what Aoki can do. He's a dangerous dude, but so I think it's a rematch that people want to see. So for me, I'm just all I can do is control what happens between the time I pick up and the time that I go to bed at night, and that's training and making the right decisions, and hopefully continue to get better. So I can't really worry about that too much. I definitely I'm not calling anybody out or anything, but I definitely would be interested in rematch, or not a rematch, but a fight with Aoki in the future, if Bellator sees fit for that. But I will pretty much fight whoever. I just want to get out there and put on a show for the fans.
Now the Bellator lightweight tournament kicks off on March 23rd. 8 fighters going at it for a chance to compete for your title. 2 of which actually, Patricky Pitbull and Lloyd Woodard, you already hold wins over. With that said, is there a specific opponent that you've got your eye on in this tournament?
No, I'm excited to see all 8. I mean, we fought March, April, May of last year. So you got a year, pretty much almost a year to see how much Lloyd Woodard and Patricky have both progressed since then. As well as Brent Weidman and Rick Hahn. Haven't really fought since then either. When they fought Jay Huron in the 170-pound tournament, as well as some new faces. So I'm just excited to see it all play out and be on this side of the kind of the spectrum, if you will, and kind of watch it all play out. And whoever wants it the most is going to win it, and whoever's supposed to win it's going to win it. And I hope they come to fight me later on in this year, probably in the fall or in the winter time, and just excited to get it on.
Now, we've seen the UFC lightweight title essentially put on hold over the past year, with these series of rematches and draws involving Frankie Edgar. And by no means is that a knock against him, but do you feel like it's a bit of a breath of fresh air, with Bellator's tournament format, being as though, you're kind of presented with new and fresh talent each season?
Yeah, no, it's definitely cool. I've said it many times. I enjoy Bellator, the Bellator format. I definitely enjoyed going to the tournament. I knew I was gonna, kind of shine in it because of its, back-to-back fights, and my body's, used to that kind of training and that kind of taxing, situations. Being with the wrestling background I have, and I enjoy Bellator. I know Bjorn's doing everything he possibly can to grow Bellator, and I'm excited to see where they're going to be, how this season plays out, or how this year plays out. And then 2013 we got the Spike deal going on, so it's definitely exciting.
Now, you actually just touched on the Bellator and Spike TV deal, which actually brings me to my next question. With that said, in recent years we've seen a lot of promotions fall at the feet of the UFC. I have to imagine it feels good with Viacom now holding a majority ownership in Bellator, and the promotion jumping ship to Spike TV next year.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things where you got to take small steps at times and big steps at other times, and this was definitely something that I think Jordan's been working on. You know, you hear him talking about the interview. He's been working on this kind of stuff for a while now. You know, so he's kind of, you know, who knows? He already has stuff planned right now that's going to happen in, you know, 2014, 2015. You know, he's already got things in the works that's going to come to pass eventually. You know, just like this came to pass, and they've probably been working on it for a year or two, or at least, you know. So I'm just excited to see it all kind of happen and watch Bellator grow, because, you know, when I signed with them, they were you know, kind of a smaller organization, definitely, and they're definitely not, you know, the biggest, if you will, but they're still continuing to grow exponentially. And yeah, like you said, I mean, the majority stake with Viacom is a really, really awesome thing, and it's going to be, you know, really cool. More exposure, more pump up to the fights, more you know, excitement, really. You know, more interaction with fans and just everything. You know, just really excited to see where Viacom brings us, you know, in the next year.
Now, I want to change gears for a second. You know, in the landscape of the MMA apparel industry, specifically the T-shirt lines that we've seen over the years, it's almost formed a bit of a cliche, if you will. You know, with the skulls and the wings and the flashy shirts. But you recently launched your own clothing company, a T-shirt line actually called Blessed Threads. We recently did a piece on that on CageReligion.com because it's very different than a lot of these apparel industries. The overall theme, the way it looks, and ultimately the purpose of the line. Why don't you talk a bit about Blessed Threads and how this came about?
You know, it started with, you know, I have a tattoo, Blessed, on my chest, and it's, I made a couple shirts for myself and started wearing them, and people started liking them, and I started kind of, you know, printing them up and selling them pretty much out of my house or whatever. And now, you know, we pretty much launched a full-blown business and a website and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I thought, you know, what better way to kind of give back than to, you know, kind of give with every single, you know, shirt that we sell. You know, why not give back? So I actually, my T-shirt printer, John Gibbs, his son had been suffering from brain tumors for you know, a couple of years, and they turned me on to this organization called Friends of Kids with Cancer. And, you know, now I kind of partnered up with them, and now we're giving 10% of every single T-shirt we sell to Friends of Kids with Cancer, and we're selling them, you know, every day. We're selling more shirts and more shirts. I'm just excited to kind of get the, you know, get blessed shirts on people's backs and kind of spread that message that, you know, our best days and blessed days are out ahead of us. And you know, I visited Children's Hospital back in St. Louis over the break, and had an opportunity to kind of you know, hang out with some of those kids who've been, you know, going through chemo and definitely going through, you know, way tougher fights than I have been, you know, for however long they've been having to do it. You know, it's way tougher than what I have to do. I'm just blessed to be healthy and have a healthy family and healthy, you know, a lot of healthy friends and that kind of stuff. So just kind of want to give back, and eventually, you know, we want to continue to grow and bless, you know, tons and tons of people as many of us we can.
Now, where can fans find Blessed Threads at online?
It's blessedthreads.com, and then we're on Twitter at Blessed Threads.
Now, once again, before we get going, Michael, we just want to thank you for taking the time out of your, I'm sure, busy schedule to join Cage Religion Radio. We really enjoyed the time you spent with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and thanks to you know, make sure everybody checks me out on Twitter at Mike Chandler MMA, and you know, thank you to Clinch Gear and High Tech Pharmaceuticals and Ken Lester, and just look forward to make sure you check me out on May 4th.